I want to talk about different doors to relationship, different doors to deepening intimacy with God. And these things are going to be known as spiritual disciplines. All right. And so there's no standard list of spiritual disciplines, but spiritual disciplines, things that grow us in a relationship with God, there's going to be consistent ones, but there's also going to be variation based on your temperament and life circumstances, right? There are going to be some things that just based on our personality and our character and who we are, we're going to be drawn to more readily and more immediately than others. And there are going to be some disciplines that we tend to avoid or not practice. I would just affirm that all spiritual disciplines are needed. They're all needed in our lives. When you think of discipline, what do you think of? Do you think of correction? Or do you think of like focused, determined, structured, regular living? You might think of both of them. All of that is discipline. Discipline is correction. Discipline is focus. Discipline is the rejection of other things. So if I'm disciplined, I'm going to cut out things that aren't helpful, and I'm going to restrict myself to only that which helps me in my goal. So spiritual disciplines are going to help us in that. There are going to be disciplines that you are drawn to, and there are going to be several of them that you tend to neglect. I want you to maybe focus on the areas that you tend to neglect, because if your goal is to grow in a deeper relationship, the areas that you neglect might just be the key to that deeper relationship because they are holes or weak points in your relationship. So, for example, maybe you read scripture every single day. Maybe you read it well because you can read scripture poorly. But reading scripture every single day, if I want to know God more intimately, just reading more scripture might not actually help me in that because I'm already doing it, right? And it could actually just become a burden where I'm more just becoming legalistic about doing more and working harder. But if I never pray, well, if I were to just add a little bit of prayer to my life, I might experience God on an entirely different level and in a new way than I ever have before. Why? Because I'm engaging with God in an aspect of my life that I've never engaged with him before. So when we look at these spiritual disciplines, think about ones that you aren't engaging in and think about areas that you could begin to add. I'm going to steal from Craig Groeschel, who simply says, don't try to add every single discipline at once. It probably won't work. That's like having 10 New Year's resolutions. You'll probably fail at all of them. But maybe there's one spiritual discipline that you could add over the course of the next year. And maybe every single year, as you get a habit of spiritual discipline, you can add one more spiritual discipline to your life. And by the end of your life, you will have grown disciplined in your faith.
Hey, so that's a simple introduction into what the spiritual disciplines are and a little bit of an encouragement from me about where I would start. If you're already doing some of these disciplines really well, maybe explore some of the disciplines that you haven't stepped into that much. If you're looking to cultivate a new level of spiritual intimacy or depth in your relationship with God. As I said in the beginning of this video, hit like if this has been helpful. Comment below and let me know what you maybe would want to hear more specifically on. The one thing I know is a lot of people don't help us step into new spiritual disciplines, even if we've heard of them before. That's what I plan on doing in the future. So if you'll hit subscribe, you won't miss out on those videos that are to come. But in the meantime, let's keep exploring the spiritual disciplines. Go ahead and click the next video and I'll see you over there.